Welcome to Feed the Seed to Succeed, where we have positive conversations to better our lives and just share our experiences. I'm Fungus.
I'm T Stu. What it do? You know what I mean? The
Yeah,
Nutty Professor. You know what I mean?
Nutty
How you
Professor.
living?
What's going on with you right now? What's going on in your world?
Oh no! Look, check this out. Right?
Yeah.
Um, this is kind of a special show to me. You know why?
How come?
Because I want to say 11 years ago, right? I think it was 11 years. It might have been 11 years ago, right? Around the Occupy time, right?
Hmm.
It was the first time I was asked to come on KUCR radio.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, so like always around Thanksgiving time, my birthday time, it's always significant, because like it's another year I've been on the radio,
Mm.
and like I always like, always like it's always been special to me because like, a first generation college student, like I had a struggle with housing, and I finally got accepted to family housing and the first Thanksgiving that I had my own little spot and like, and my wife cooked dinner and we had my family come over, you know, um, I knew the Round Table Roundup, that was a show that we used to be on, right? And I knew that we were going to be on at a certain time that day on Thanksgiving. So I put the radio on and I didn't tell nobody I was on the radio.
Uh-huh.
Just talking and enjoying ourselves. And all of a sudden, my auntie was like, "Hey, that young man who's talking on the radio sound a lot like you, TJ." And I said, and I said, that is me, Auntie April. And that, and from everybody went silent, and everybody listened to the whole show, and you know what I mean. And it was like, it made that dinner a whole lot more special, and it was like it was already special because I felt like I was homeless going to UCR for the first few couple of semesters, while I was going attending there, and I got in to UCR in October, and like that was my first Thanksgiving, and like it like I said, it was so phenomenal, and then it was like on top of that, I was on the radio, and it was it was really, really, really special, Me and my wife had just got married. Everything was happening all around that time. I just celebrated my 13th year anniversary, right? And then
Congratulations.
all this show always is special to me. And like around this time, like, I've been put in the LA Times newspaper and all this time, always around this time right here. So I look forward to this show every year. I look forward to this show every year, the one that comes in November,
Yeah.
closest to the day that they celebrate turkey, And and you're supposed to be thankful for it, and we know the history and stuff, but like, but it's still a significant, and like I celebrate my birthday during that time. So like, I just always say it's a celebration of my birthday, that we get together, But all in all, you know what I mean? Like, so it's a great to be spending this time with you, brother Fungus, and you know what I mean, and doing this, like in all the history that we have shared, all the different shows we have done over the years, from
So
every
many shows. So
so
many
many
shows.
shows, right? Hundreds of them, you know what I mean? And shout out to them, everybody else that's not here, even Danny Diaz, shit, Elliot Kim, Eddie, you know what I mean? Like for real, man, it's been a lot of shows we have dealt with a lot of people. We probably don't talk to them as much as we would like to, but still, like, we still got this history that laid this foundation, you know what I mean? So man, shout out to everybody that was part of it.
I remember you were at a supermarket and somebody recognized your voice.
Yeah, yup. I still remember that, man. I was in there and that's when K Mark was around. All the UCR alumni, all the new students don't know nothing about K Mark. K Mark was a stable for UCR for years, you know what I mean? And
Yes. Yes.
I was in K Mark and I was waiting in a line and somebody said, "Man, I know that voice. That's that Nutty Professor," And I was like, "Yeah." Yeah. I felt like I was successful, you know. But we've been bringing it though. We've been bringing it for all these times, you know, and like you know, a lot of times it's been some tough times and but some beautiful times as well, man. I still remember a show that we did a long time ago around around it was like the fusion of food, you know, like how we're all multicultural because we're multicultural, but like we still live in a multicultural society, you know. And I was talking about the store behind UCR,
Mhm.
you know, where they had the tally special at, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and the grocery store, I don't know what the name of it is still to this day, but like, you know, we ate there a whole lot. And when El Fagone first opened up on the other side of the parking lot, that I used to like to get my food from the Tally Special, but I used to like to go to El Fagone and get their hot sauce, you know, and I used to have to mix it up. And I remember you had something you liked it with the egg roll. What was that?
Oh, I liked I got egg roll and guacamole.
Guacamole, you know what
Yeah, yeah.
I mean?
I was like,
And we always
ooh.
talked about like the fusion of everything, you know, and like that's the beauty of like you know going to UCR, you know, like you engage, you know, it's like I learned this in school, you know, it's like amalgamation. That's the word, amalgamation, you know. It's and let me explain this to you because like I learned this through ethnic studies, right?
Yeah.
So assimilation is A plus B plus C equals A,
Mm.
right? And then cultural pluralism is A plus B plus C equals ABC.
Mm.
You know, and amalgamation is A plus B plus C equals D.
Mm.
You know, so like I like to say, like, you know, it's an amalgamation of everything, you know, of culture, of being around good people, around of even education, you know, like even the teachers is from all kinds of different places and they all bring their own different cultures to the table. So like, you know, like being on this radio show, we have interviewed an array of different people, like, you know, from economic environmental justice people, you know, like, you know, from people who, you know, with records, people with food, people with all kinds of people, man, over the years, you know, and it's just like, you know, just to be still here with you, you know, is still always like, you know, this show right here is always like a reflection of all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, have you been traveling? Did you go to the capital lately, recently?
I posted a picture of me at the state capitol, but it was a while ago, you know, but not but like okay, so my organization and what we doing, we have a delegate team. So like we have recently went to the state capitol to get our certificates for the people who's graduating for our program.
Mm.
So like, you know, because we're gonna have a graduation for them next week, you know, so they're gonna graduate, the delegate program will graduate, and like it's about 15 people who they learned, like, you know, how to meet with elected officials, they learned the legislative cycle, they learned how to advocate and all this stuff. So like when it is time for us to meet with the elected officials and bring people to the state capitol, we have a team of well-trained people with real live lived situations that's helping, you know, change the narrative and change policies for people that's living with past records that's trying to get themselves together, you know. So like it's you know so it's what that's the work I've been doing with the state capitol recently, you know, and it's been very powerful and impactful because like a lot of people, like, you know, like despite what the dominant narratives say, is that people are trying to get their lives together. You
Mhm.
know, nobody wants to stay in a life of crime, you know, and like a lot of people, like the reason why they did it was because they never had a first chance again to even get to the second chance. So what we're trying to provide for people is opportunity to succeed, you know, opportunity towards leadership, you know, because like for me,
Mhm.
personally speaking, leadership is what changed my life. You know, like I never like never in a million years I thought I would be the person who I am today when I was growing up. You know, but the reason why was because I was always being afforded like leadership opportunities, but leadership opportunities for the wrong reason. You know, but it wasn't until somebody gave me an opportunity to do good, you know, and I couldn't even believe it. Like, you know, like I couldn't believe it. Like, damn, I could do this, you know, and I found out that I was really good at it.
Mm.
You know, I was good at being good. You know, so like you know, so like it was a rewarding feeling, fulfilling, and I ended up making a career out of it. So it's like, you know, it's like putting people in the same pipeline. You know, people that have never been given an opportunity. And I also remember the same feeling like when I first was in Compton, there was a guy named Robert Brown. He went by Charlie Brown because he liked the Charlie Brown character, and he had like this. He kind of looked like it. He had a big old head and stuff, and he went by Charlie Brown, right? But Charlie Brown, his whole head was a tattoo.
Mm.
His eyebrows was a tattoo. He had a big tattoo on the side of his face right here. And but I was in class with him, and this dude was smart. He had really good values, everything, but people were afraid because of the tattoos. So I gave him an opportunity at leadership, you know, and he did well, graduated and everything else. You know, he was trying to get a job at NASA, you know,
Mm. Wow.
like for real, like he was that smart, man. The dude was a genius, you know. So it's about like, you know, providing the opportunity of leadership to other people, you know, by changing policies, but then also providing the resources that they need to succeed. So you got to feed the seed to succeed. Absolutely.
Have you kept in touch with Charlie Brown?
Um, like on Facebook, you know what I mean? Like a lot of the people I advocate now, because I've been like like leadership, man. We've been doing this for like I I got out of prison in '07, right? And I went to college 2 weeks out of prison,
Nice. Wow.
and then yeah, and then and then I joined the ASB and everything else. Well, like it was stepping stones to it, you know. It was stepping stones, like it was levels to it. You know, you just don't get on Mike Tyson, punch out and get in the ring with Mike Tyson. You know, you got to start off with Glass Joe. You know, so like, so I know I'm showing my age. Nobody probably
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
yeah, right. So like, my first step was towards leadership was just just enrolling in college, you know. And then I got there, and it was beautiful because I went to a school that had lost its accreditation,
Mm.
so like it had it was pushing for its second chance, you know. And I came there, and a lot of people had a lot to say about the college. It was in Compton. Um, it had lost its accreditation. Like, you know, the student participation was very low, you know, and I had just got out of prison. So like for me, it was still a step up, you know. And so I went to this school, and at first, like, you know, I never felt like I belonged so much in my life. Like, and it was a crazy situation how I felt like I belonged, right? Was because I was first going to the mission room of the missions, and there's a guy I still keep up with now, still this day. His name is C Rod, you know, and it stands for his name. It starts with a C. His last name is Rodriguez, something, you know. But C Rod, right? So he was enrolling too at the same time. We was enrolling together, and I still keep up with him to this day too. And 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 he was turning he had his music going in the lobby, and it was jamming, and like, you know, we're in the college, we're in the line in the lobby, and he jamming the music, and I'm feeling it too. I'm like, hey, and then the lady was like, excuse me, who's playing that music? And I'm like, damn, he about to get in trouble, you know. That's what I thought in my head. and the lady said, that's my gym. Turn that up. and I knew from that moment that was my college. I knew from admission. I said, "Oh man, I'm coming here." You know what I'm saying? Like, get that. So like, so like, I went there the first summer, and I went there in summer, and it was cool. It was good because I took remedial classes. Like I was taking like intro to sentences. I was like, my math was like on math 40. Like I was taking remedial classes. I wasn't up on the high level stuff. I ain't been to school in years. So I was taking remedial classes during the summer. And just to get back in touch with everything. And so the next quarter, actual semester, I went to a psychology class, and I met, and this is tight because the name of this show is Speed to See, but this always sticks to me with this Speed to See. So please understand this, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of the start of the Speed to See. So one of the things that the psychology teacher, his name was Dr. Hoffman, right? Dr. August Hoffman. He ran a garden at the college. So his psychology class was, you had to write a 10-page paper at the end. But every hour that you put in the garden, it's a subtract page that you had to do. So if you did 10 hours, you didn't have to write a final 10-page paper.
Wow. Nice.
So like I was fresh out. So I just wanted to, do things with my time that was like productive and positive. So I would do the time in the hours. And one of the biggest lessons that he taught me was cultivation, how to cultivate the garden, how to cultivate the garden. So we'll be out there cultivating, and and like that year, like that garden, I was always involved in it. I did my 10 hours in the garden, and I still wrote my 10-page paper. I really like, I really liked the teacher. I thought he was great, man. He taught me some study things, like, like study stuff, like you read what you read, and then you get another piece of paper and write as much as you remember, like from what you read, and like, this was the type of things I learned from him, and like cultivation and being out there in the garden and just watching things grow. Like, cause you in a class with like 16 weeks, so it's like, you're watching stuff grow with the cultivation. You're watching what you're doing, like how is making a college that has lost its accreditation and everybody said was bad. Like, you're making it beautiful within, and so like, I did that. And the next year, Dr. Hoffman got a job at a university, and he was gone, but he left his tools there. So like, what I would do was, I was still cultivating around the college, and I was planting plants, and I would come there on the weekend, and I was doing this out of my own pocket. I didn't ask nobody. I just did this. And people just start to see me doing this, and some people thought like, oh, you must be on probation or parole or something, doing community service. I'm like, yeah, I am on parole, but I'm not doing it for community service for nobody but myself. I just felt like, this dude poured into me, and like through this, and like, this is all the thing I know how to do right now. Because like, before this moment, I feel like only thing I knew how to do well was participate in street activities. So like, so I started doing that. And a guy who's still dear to my heart, I still keep up with, his name was Rob Pitts, and Rob Pitts, he walked up on me and he asked me to be a part of the associate student body, student government.
Oh.
And so this is what I was telling you about that opportunity, because is I couldn't believe that I was being asked to be a part of student government. Like, I just got out of prison, before prison, like, I did what I did. I never really was good in school, and like, I've taken remedial classes, like, it was like I'm good. How am I good enough to be a part of student government, and and so I started going to the meetings, just to, I still cultivated around the school, but I just started going to the student government meetings. I wasn't a member of student government. I just started going just
Mm.
because the guy offered it to me. I wanted to know more about it. I didn't want to just jump in. I didn't know, but it was. And one day, the student government got a invite to speak at a town hall at Compton at the city hall as student leaders, and everybody had previous engagements. And I said, I'll go out there and speak, you
Mm.
know, and so I went. I asked for one of the student government T-shirts. Like, can I get one of the T-shirts, to represent? And they was like, yeah. So this was my first advocacy shirt ever. Was asking, can I speak at the at the when asking, can I go and represent the student government? And so I went, and so when it was my turn to speak, I talked about me getting out of prison, and like I never felt like I was good at anything, and I'm cultivating around the campus, and now I'm going to student government meetings, and they got me representing, and like this the first time in my life, I feel like I'm learning. I'm making something beautiful. I'm participating in student government, and like I told them how this college is fulfilling my life. And when I finished speaking, like everybody was behind me. I was speaking from a place where like I'm standing at a pedestal, but everybody's behind me, and the people at the diocese, the table, and when I finished speaking, nobody was nobody was sitting down.
Mm.
Talking about a standing ovation. Like, I
Mm.
ain't never felt nothing like that a day in my life. Like, and I just told the truth. Like, this is what I was going through, and this was where I was at. And so the mayor came and meet me. The provost of the school did Compton College, Compton Community College District came to meet me, and the dean of students came to meet me. And they all asked about me being part of student government, and I'm like, I'm kind of not really even part of student government. You know what I mean? I just attend the meetings and stuff, and I'm stepping in as a representative, But the school would just, like I said, they lost its accreditation. It was like people were just so happy to hear some good news coming from about that school, But I was telling the truth though, So the so so everybody called looking for me. They
Mm.
called the student government. They called the office, Mr. Butler's office. Everybody called Mr. Butler's office, Robert Butler. So they was leaving messages and stuff. Who is this Terrance Stewart fella? Terrance Stewart, And so I go to the office to give the report back of what happened. And he was like, man, Terrance, come in my office, And I'm like, okay. Me being the way I grew up, like when somebody of authority asked me to come in their office, I think I did something wrong. I'm looking like, oh my God, what I did. Did I say something I wasn't supposed to say? You know what I mean? I was thinking, he was like, man, everybody called looking for you. What did you say? I said, oh man, I just told them the truth, And he was like, man, whatever you said, you had a big impact on everybody. And now the provost is coming to the office, the dean of students is coming to the office, the mayor is calling, you know what I mean? So it's like from that moment, they hurry up and put me on the student government. At first I was the commissioner of class and curriculums, and I was advocating for they was giving classes at the same time, just say you need these classes to graduate, but they have them at the same time, so you can't take both classes in the same quarter, same thing, because they run at the same time. So people would need both of these classes. So I started advocating for them to given at different times, so that people who's in one class could get this class, and then probably later on take the other class, the same class,
Mm-hmm.
during the same semester. And then it was a building that used to be there called the Learning Resource Center, that was like a big old glass building that was not operational.
Mm-hmm.
So I started advocating about using the building that we had no access to because like we was taking pictures in front of the building, but the building didn't work. And I said, man, that's like, we might as well take pictures in front of a building that works. You know what I mean? It looked bad, like, the building looked nice, but it don't work. So I was like really an advocate for the Learning Resource Center to open up and for us to get these classes together. So like, boom, like, I was a commissioner of class and curriculum, so I started really like advocating and like learning this stuff, because I didn't know this stuff at first. So I started having to talk to students and learning this stuff and going to other meetings and what you call it, this and this. And I couldn't believe it, and I was taking classes and like, and like now I'm out of the remedial classes, but like, so I'm becoming like, this whole, like my whole thing is changing. Like, I went from fresh out of prison, to now like to cultivating. I'm still cultivating around the campus. You know what I mean? Like it like, so it's like, and eventually, like, I went from commissioner of class and curriculum to commissioner of environment. So I did Earth Day events, and I went to this green event, and I got these green biodegradable trash bags in a big old box of them, and I start giving them to the maintenance men and giving them to everything. So the school started having green biodegradable trash bags, and then I started doing recycling. And like, so I got these. I went to this earth. That's what I said. I went to this green event in LA, and like I found out about the trash bags, but I also found out about how you get these recycling bins for free. So what I would do was have everybody mail these people, and they'll mail us a recycling bin. So we started having recycling bins all over the school. And then I took that money, and we had recycle, instead of like our fundraisers wasn't like bringing money to us. It was like, okay, bring some recycling goods to the school, so we had like Earth Day events, you know what I mean? And like I was able to work with the radio station, K-Day, and K-Day used to come to all my events, you know what I mean? It is like, yeah, so it was like, if I was a person that thought I was a mess up my whole life, given an opportunity at leadership, I start going in, you know what I mean? Like K-Day, I was taking every opportunity, and it worked, and then like UC San Diego created an event called the Compton Cookout. And it was like, it was one of these fraternities, I found out later it was the Pikes, but like I didn't know what the hell the Pikes was at that time. And they did a Compton Cookout, and they dressed up in blackface and jerry curls and walking around with 40s and all this type of stuff, so they was clowning. So like as a college, we wanted to make a response because we was the only college in Compton. So like we created an event called Compton Idol. And it was kind of like American Idol, but it was done in Compton, and like, it was so rocking. It was so rocking. And like, like I said, we for school didn't have too much of no budget, no nothing. Like our budget was small, everything that we were doing. Like, so like I created this event with students. It was student led. We created this event, and we did it on donations. Everybody we got donations from Best Buy, from Target, from Mid City, what is it, Credit Union, to the Embassy Suite Hotel. Like like all these different places we was going, and we was getting them, and we was talking to them, and we created the letters, we created the event layout, we did everything. And anybody who participated in Compton Idol got an award. I mean, got some kind of gift. We man, the school principal gave us hot dog day, where you could buy a soda and a hot dog for $1 right there by where we was doing Compton Idol, so more people could tap in and everything else, man. So like we did really, really, really well. And then so I ran for president of ASB.
Yeah.
And I did. And you wouldn't believe this. I lost by 1 vote.
Oh, what?
I lost by 1 vote. Man, this is a true story. You know what I mean? Like, and it's cold because if you ever see this dude, he's a dude, he speaks a lot of positive stuff. He talks about all kinds of stuff. His name is Rizza Islam. Me and Rizza me and RZA ran against each other, and another lady named Tanya Bouchiers, and me and RZA both lost to Tanya Bouchiers. And the cool thing about it was Tanya Bouchiers didn't even come to school the next year. So the vice president became the president.
Wow.
Yeah. And then
We
so the
we're like we're like just out of time. How do you want to end this in like a positive note? I mean, it's been a positive story the whole
now
time.
let me tell you, I'm gonna end it with the story, and we'll come back to this though. But like so so like they made her president and they made me vice president, you know, and and like even though I was never president of the organization, I was the heart and soul of that mug, you know. And this opportunity, it was one of it like and this is what I'm saying about like when I was talking about what time done doing and providing opportunities to leadership and all this stuff was just a little seed, you know, on some cultivated ground could grow a tree that will provide fruit for many people. And from this fruit, produce more seeds. So it's no longer just a lonely seed no more. It has created a forest.
Yeah.
So, so like, you know, we got to feed the seed. And we also got to cultivate the land. So when we plant these seeds, it's planted on good ground.
Yeah, that's right. Well, with that said, this has been Feed the Seed to Succeed, and thank you, Terrance, for sharing the story. I don't think I think this is the first time I've heard you talk about it in that detail. So I appreciate
Oh
you
yeah.
sharing.
Oh man, nah, thank you, man. You could like I ain't even really talk about UCR yet, you know what I mean? And like, you know, you're part of that, you know what I mean? So it's like, we're gonna feed the seed, we're gonna cultivate the land, we're gonna feed the seed, and we're gonna grow forests in the desert.
Yeah. All right, we're out of time, so we gotta go. But cool. Until next time. Peace.
Feed the seed.